Good evening. Tonight I'm proud to introduce you to two of my best friends, Charlie Amato and Gary Dudley of SWBC. Their story is absolutely amazing when you consider that they were childhood friends and they started the company together in 1976 with just $1,500 in startup capital and 2 employees. Today, SWBC is a diversified financial service company with nearly 2,000 employees in offices internationally. And even more amazing is the fact that they're still best friends. Together, Charlie and Gary are the definition of a dynamic duo. Charlie is Mr. Outside, working to bring in the clients, while Gary is Mr. Inside, working to meet the client's needs. I always refer to them as a B&B team, with Gary as the brains and Charlie as the BS. But Gary always corrects me, saying, "Don't be fooled by that big smile. Charlie is plenty smart." And while their personalities might differ a bit, they share an absolute commitment to running their business with outstanding customer service and absolute integrity. I also admire them because they are leaders in our community and they generously support a wide range of causes throughout San Antonio and in all of the communities where they have operations. Charlie, Gary, you have worked together to create a true Texas success story that has made our community and our state a better place to live and work. It is my honor to welcome you both into the 2013 Texas Business Hall of Fame.
You know, it's hard to talk about one without the other because it's really a dynamic that way.
Charlie Amato and Gary Dudley have had time to work out the dynamics of their relationship. They've been friends since childhood.
I met Gary in the 6th grade. We knew each other, we liked each other a lot, and back at that age, you know, you kind of rambunctious, and we moved around a lot, got in a little bit of trouble, but we had a lot of fun.
They parted ways after attending college at Sam Houston State University. Charlie went to work for a bank and Gary taught PE in the Houston School District until his number came up in the draft. It was 1969 and the Vietnam War was in full swing.
And I walked into a Marine recruit depot and said, how long is your waiting list for your reserve to join the reserves? And they said, do you have 15 minutes? I can swear you in and make you a Marine.
Gary returned to coaching after his term in the military. Newly married, expecting his first child and making $6,000 a year. He found an opportunity selling insurance to credit unions, so he took it. Meanwhile, Charlie was still working for a bank, which was not the career path he wanted to follow. He attended an alumni party and ran into his old friend Gary. The rest, as they say, is history.
He said that I should get into sales, and he was selling insurance to credit unions at the time. And I listened to him, and the last thing I thought I wanted to do was to sell insurance. And I just decided that maybe I ought to give it a shot.
And then the two of us, after about 3 years, we really determined that that company didn't treat us as employees and didn't treat our clients the way that they should be treated. And so Charlie and I left and formed our little company working out of the trunks of our cars, selling the same type of products that we sold with this other company.
Ironically, Southwest Business Corporation was created on April Fool's Day, 1976. The irony is that SWBC's humble start from the trunk of a car grew to a nationwide corporation, named one of the best companies to work for in Texas. Today, SWBC employs nearly 2,000 people and receives annual revenues of approximately $300 million. SWBC provides a wide range of insurance, mortgage, and investment services to clients across the country. One key to SWBC's tremendous growth: diversification.
We keep diversifying so we can stay ahead of trends.
They own car dealerships, real estate properties, and they're investors of their beloved San Antonio Spurs. Charlie and Gary love business. It's their hobby. And while they have a lot in common, another key to their success is their differences, their dynamics.
They're just brilliant businessmen. They're very charismatic personalities, both of them. People talk about how different they are and that one reason they're successful is it's Mr. Inside and Mr. Outside, and there's some truth to that. But I think there's a lot more intent behind the way they work together. It's really brilliant. the way they know which one's better at certain things than the other.
He really thrives on detail. He likes detail. Detail's not my strong suit.
God bless him, he doesn't thrive on the detail of a lot of things. He knows the detail, but that doesn't turn him on very much. He likes being out in the public, selling and doing the things that bring business, that bring the income in the door.
The two led the company through the troubled 80s.
Fortunately for Texas, rough spots don't last long. But we did go through a period of time where the interest rates rose, and this one banker, friend of ours, loaned us money to make payroll. And that was the time that I'll never forget. And Charlie will never forget it either. The two of us, we swore to each other from then on that there's not going to be any borrowing of money. And we didn't up until about 6 years ago when we purchased this building that we're sitting in today.
Richard Fisher recalls SWBC's struggle during the time.
That was a very difficult time, and they were put through the grinder there. And I think the lesson learned was, again, diversify and never put yourself in that kind of position again.
Business is their hobby, but they're equally passionate about making a difference, especially in the lives of children, students, and their community.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's any charities that Gary is not involved with. Every time I turn around, he's doing something for somebody, somewhere. But he just doesn't go into it blindly. He really checks out the charity and the purpose and what they're trying to get accomplished.
Both were recognized as distinguished alumni by their alma mater.
At Sam Houston State, where Charlie and Gary graduated, they play a great role in a number of ways. One, they help the business school, but two, they're there. They're mentors. There are students that can look up to these men and see what they've done.
Charlie extends his reach to students attending the University of Incarnate Word in San Antonio and the entire Texas State University system.
Regents typically aren't reappointed because the term is 6 years. Charlie just began his second 6-year term on our Board of Regents, for which we're all grateful.
We've had a great growth. It's been real exciting to look at two guys that grew up in refinery towns of the Texas Gulf Coast and went to Sam Houston State, and we're sitting where we are today. We're just real fortunate, and we've been exceptionally lucky. And anybody that's success that says that they don't have a little bit of luck in their life is wrong.